fun facts. Of course, we're hopping right onto Wikipedia immediately to have some fun with the facts on the rarest fish in the world, found only in the Devil's Hole. It's a water-filled cavern found in the United States in Nevada. Don't say Nevada, say Nevada. I just started a fire right there. Discovered in 1930, a critically endangered species within the family of the pupfish. Cute little fellas. Maximum length of like an inch, 1.2 inches, 30 millimeters. Mine's a little big. This is world record size Devil's Hole pupfish. That's what this is. So they'll vary quite a bit in coloration. The males are a bright metallic blue while the females and the juveniles are more yellow. So a convenient thing with these fish for me is that they lack pelvic fins. 2 less fins that I need to make for this bait. They consume nearly every available food source, no doubt. Beetles, snails, algae, freshwater crustaceans. Their diet varies a lot. Whoa. They're preyed upon by the predaceous diving beetle. Oh my. The predaceous diving beetle. Do I have that name right? Whoa, who'd have thought that that's a thing? Anyway, let's stay focused on the Devil's Hole pupfish. Reproduction occurs year-round, spikes in the spring and the fall. So the survivorship of an egg going to an adult is low. They only live for 10 to 14 months. And then on top of that, they have predaceous diving beetles to worry about. Oh my goodness. This Devil's Hole is 430 feet deep, but the pupfish are only located around the 80-foot depth. That's where the water is a consistent temperature of 91 degrees. So they're sandwiched in this perfect, happy temperature spot. Oxygen levels are low. A submerged rock shelf right there provides critical feeding and spawning habitat for this pupfish. Whenever the water goes up and down, it's very precarious for these fish. Therefore, humans have issued a preservation of the Devil's Hole. Never thought I'd say that. They made it a national monument. They made the Devil's Hole a national monument in 1952. This will maintain a sufficient value of fauna in this pool and keep the water level where it needs to be. Any other threats faced to this devil's pupfish species, there's probably other ones too that are really rare. Maybe not, why would it just be that one fish in this one location? Maybe it is, I don't know. But no matter if there's earthquakes, flash floods, vandalism, whatnot, this Devil's Hole National Monument is going to be preserved, apparently. All right, blah, 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 blah. They're saying how they preserve this hole, removing sediment to the shallow shelf, adding supplemental food. So they're shooting food pellets down there, just really trying to help this pupfish hang on to this precarious living standard. Save the pupfish. There were bumper stickers in the 60s and 70s that were distributed that read "Kill the pupfish" or "Save the pupfish." Some have argued that it should just be allowed to go extinct. Kill the pupfish. Why kill the pupfish? Is it really killing the pupfish if you just like, okay, whatever, bye, you know? Maybe leave the pupfish alone. You don't have to kill the pupfish. And good for you if you want to save the pupfish, but why does it kill the pupfish? Those diving beetles are killing the pupfish. Oh, dang. So the population of the pupfish varies a lot. It's always very small. In 1972, they counted them. They can literally just count them. There's 550 in 1972. In 2013, there was 35. They counted 35 of them. In 2022, there was 263, so they're making a comeback. These poor little fish, just trying to get by in the Devil's Hole. Well, that's crazy. So they lack these pelvic fins like I was talking about before, but they'll grow pelvic fins in lower temperatured water. While in captivity, they'll grow pelvic fins, but not have them in the wild. Yeah, I wonder why they don't just snatch up some eggs and stock some tanks with the pupfish, you know? Maybe there's a reason. They'll eat anything. It says they'll eat inorganic particulate matter. That's sad. They're eating dirt to get by. They'll eat those things. They'll eat that ball of snot. They're just listing off the different things these fish usually eat. Uh-oh. They'll eat a flatworm. Get your forward-facing sonar and drop a flatworm down there. They'll bite it. Nasty snails and stuff. This is a bucket list fish. The rarest fish in the world. You'd probably get in big trouble if you went out to the Devil's Hole and dropped down your 1-pound line with a micro flatworm, start ripping the pupfish lips, fill up a 5-gallon bucket. It's probably the most efficient way to get the DNR on your back, you know? Oh wow, so inorganic particulate matter makes up the majority of these fish's diet. 83% in the spring, 79% in the summer, 95% in the autumn, and usually 100% in the winter. So maybe just pack some dirt on your hook. So each spawn, the mature female is thought to produce only one single egg, 1 millimeter of a tiny little egg, and that has low hatching success. And the juveniles have a low rate of survival on top of all that, and their lifespan's only 10 to 14 months. And we are fighting tooth and nail to just make sure this species survives, save the pupfish. I wonder how much money is going to this. I can't find it. How much money are we spending to save the pupfish? Isolation over the course of thousands of years have made these fish potentially the most inbred fish or species in the world. That results in a high mutation load. That's how they word it, a high mutation load. Just a bunch of genetic instability, and that's going to probably be the end of them. That's the highest potential long-term threat to the whole species, is the ridiculous amount of inbreeding. We got motion sensor cameras around this devil's hole. Barbed wire surrounds the whole thing. We have tried to create other environments with the pupfish in them. We've transplanted them to nearby natural springs, but that failed. They disappeared. There was one population at a place called Purgatory Spring. These places have crazy names. That kind of made it. They ended up misshapen and no longer looked like the devil's hole pupfish. They quickly just evolved into something else, apparently. And then they tried to create an aquarium population of these fish at the Steinhardt Aquarium in California. But that failed too. They tried to recreate the conditions of the Devil's Hole. What a horrible process. And they took 27 of these pupfish, out of the population of, this is in 1972, so they took 27 of these pupfish and translocated them, increased the population to several hundred, and then a component of the water supply system failed, killing many of them, and then all the rest of them slowly died by the next year. Oh man, dude, what are we doing? All right, today there's a little less than 300 of them, probably. Imagine being one of those people that took one of the 27 pupfish for that translocation. You could say you caught the rarest fish in the world. Something about legal cases over people wanting to extract groundwater in the area, can't withdraw the same amount of water, but the courts chose the interests of fish over people threatening to dump pesticides into the devil's hole to kill them all. Save the pupfish, kill the pupfish. It's just so controversial. Oh my god. After vandalism resulted in the death of a single pupfish in 2016, the national parks threw the barbed wire up, fences everywhere surrounding the whole devil's hole, and installed motion sensors and video cameras. They lost a pupfish to those darn vigilantes. How does one vandalize the devil's hole? I would like to know. A trio of young men set up camp near the area. A perfect place to pass around a bottle and a shotgun for some bunny blasting. Wow, this is a strange article. Things went downhill. Drunk on rum and the roar of the gun, 3 men fired up the road on an off-road vehicle and drove away from camp. Riding in back was Trent, a chestnut-haired, bearded 27-year-old who carried a shotgun and blasted away at they were obsessed with the shotgun that these fellas had. And they made their way to the Devil's Hole, a deep pool inside a sunken limestone cavern, the area surrounded by 10-foot tall fencing, a fortress erected to protect the endangered species of the pupfish. They shot the gate and then shot the surveillance camera, yanked it from its mount, stumbled into the enclosure. Trent lunged towards his partner and punched him in the crotch with a left hook. This is specific. And then Steven the person who he punched in the crotch, stumbled over the large boulder to vomit. Trent dropped the shotgun, stripped off his clothes, and slipped into the deep, warm water of Devil's Hole. And then it says that was the worst mistake of the night, getting into that water. And they talk about the fish. They talk about the fish a lot. They left empty beer cans and his underwear still floating in the water. So these guys stepped on, it says placid algae-filled water. That's the only breeding area for the pupfish. The only spot they can breed and they're stepping on it. This was the worst time possible too, in late April. Peak breeding period for the pupfish. They saw that on camera, so then they came to the spot. They say the area reeked of vomit. These dudes just vomited so much into that pool, into the Devil's Hole, that it reeked of vomit. His underwear was still floating in the water. And then all the researchers huddled around for a closer look at the little pool that you're not supposed to step in. And there was a single bright blue pupfish floating on the surface dead. Oh, that's the hole. There it is. There's the hole. I don't know what that stuff down there is. Says one of the dudes that did that, he's forbidden to enter federal public lands for the rest of his life. Needs to pay $15,000. What would saving the pupfish do? Maybe it's just to see if they can learn good techniques to repopulate a super difficult to repopulate fish, you'd almost have to genetically modify them so that their success rate of their eggs increases. But then it's like not the same fish. Even if you try to move these fish to a different spot, they turn into a different fish. I've been sitting here in silence trying to think of the meaning and the worth of saving the pup fish. I'm trying to give it a good case, but not saying kill them. I'm just, why bother? Maybe you have a good answer. Comment below, why bother? Fun facts are over. Time to sponsor myself. The Fish with Your Masterpiece wooden lure making course is going swimmingly. In the middle of creating the wooden 2-piece glider swim bait lessons to add to the never-ending bank of lure making knowledge that it is, in the source of every template I make, and where the official bait makers community group is. Hours of lure making course material as well. Fish with Your Masterpiece. Go join. That's my sponsor. It's nice to just be able to sponsor myself. I made that. It's nice. You guys liking it so far? The rarest little devil's hole pup fish ever. This thing's more rare than the actual devil's hole pup fish. There's only one of these, man. See, in the Fish with Your Masterpiece course, I recommend you don't do that in your hand. That lead hole was just slightly like 1 millimeter off center, so I did some extra burr work with the Dremel to even things out. Alright, I'm gonna allow the neuroticism to flow through. Sand every single nanometer of this too much. That's how you ensure a smooth finish. Do that for a while and let's plug in the lead pot. See you when the lead's hot. Lead's hot. Hot, hot. Where is it? Lead's clogged. Come on now. Whew. Lead's still clogged, but it's dripping. All you need's a drip. Still gave myself like 3/16 of an inch. Or no, that's more than 1/8. 5/64 of an inch of space. Let's just go with 1/16. About a 1/16 of an inch of space to cover that lead hole up with. I think I put baking soda in this instead of microspheres. Whoops. Oh well. I think it'll still set just fine. Alright, time to cut the rarest fish in the world in half. Pretty clean. Needs to be clean. It's a little bait. The smaller the bait, the more accurate you need to be. I'm gonna do some measuring and some poking and drilling pilot holes for hardware, adding some hardware, getting this thing ready for the wood to be sealed. I guess I gotta glue the lip in too. Oopsie dipsy. Let's get that glued in. I can't really progress with any of this until that is glued in. I should have done that last night. Oh, I've always wanted to try something though. I think I'm gonna try to use UV resin to glue this lip in. A fella in the official bait making community group, Fish with Your Masterpiece course, said that he's tried it before. I have not. Time to try. Apparently it works. And that would be so convenient right now because I don't want to wait. I want to seal wood. It's looking pretty straight. It's pretty nice. You can adjust it however necessary without worrying about anything setting up. Make it just as straight as possible. Make sure there's no bubbles. Just a little torch. Pop the bubbles. Here we go. Yeah, hopefully that really gets down in there and sets the whole shindig up. That definitely feels set up. I think I'm just gonna leave that on there for a while though, like a minute or two. So if this drill bit goes in, I'm going through that lip tab, and if it comes out goopy, we'll know it didn't work. No goop. Cool. Now I can just add the hardware real quick. That's the size screw eyes I'm using. You don't need stuff like an inch long for it to be strong. I mean, you can get away with like 5 threads going into wood, and it's pretty strong still for a fishing lure. There's 10 threads on these. I counted 10. Twill be fine. I need to get my driver thing in here. I'm just mumbling at this point. Sorry. It's crazy I don't know if these will work. I never know if they'll work until I actually test them. Like, I got my techniques and ideas about what makes lures work best and stuff, but from bait to bait, making unique ones out of random chunks of wood, you just never know. I hope this works. I'm gonna have to carve a little bit off of this tail fin because that screw eye's pushing it up. Guess I did not need the brush. I like being able to fully dip them. Good morning. It's time to paint the rarest fish in the world. Got that lip taped off. We're starting with Old Bone White. Kind of starting with white still. They have this undertone of like cream, off-white. You can just barely see it, so that's what you start with. Dang crusties. I got 120 something new colors of the Army Painters War Paints. I'm an addict. Oh my goodness, what happened? What have I done? Can't get enough airbrush paint. We have so many to try. Starting with the grayest of grays I've ever seen, uniform gray. Just gonna hit the side lightly with this. Comes out so nice. Okay, that's good stuff. Wow, that is so incredibly atomized, this paint. First impressions are good. Darkest blue I could find, dark sky. I think this is my darkest blue. It's still pretty light, so I'm gonna go easy with it. There's another dark, like extremely dark blue. I don't know, it has like aqua tones in it, but it's a black, raven black. We're doing that color next. I want this base coat to be very dark, and then flashy pearly blue, iridescent blues, highlight blues and stuff has scales and details. Scales and details. I'm gonna try to keep these nice too. Clean off the tips, put them away. That's an interesting color. It's kind of pearly. And yeah, it's aqua and black put together. Let's see what it looks like on the bait. That might just look black to you guys on camera, but my eyeballs are picking up those tones. The Tim Gore Infectious Pink is still my favorite pink. It's not a ridiculous color, you know, that's a natural pink. This is just going up towards the face, very, very little. Angled really sharp, trying to hit like under the gills. Not a striking addition to the color palette, but made it look more natural. I might need this other places. Yep. I'm gonna only hit the bottom, and then I'm gonna come back with white after that first clear coat, so it'll really not be there, but yeah, this won't ruin it, hopefully. I'm holding back, like, real far. It's just a misty cloud of pink settling onto the surface of the bait. I like that I did that pink. Faded it everywhere. Fleshy pupfish. Devil's Hole pupfish base coat. You know, when you think about what it looks like under there, all of that shininess, it's about right. I might have gone a little overboard with the pink, but that can be adjusted. I was looking right there. It's gonna be good. There's those bunny blasters, by the way. Those darn pupfish killing, vomit filled bunny blasters. Base coat, clear coat. That's a dash of some laser blue glitter. That's a tiny bit of highlight red. Want more fleshiness. I really go for fleshiness when I paint. There's some slots to keep clear coat out of on the back piece. I'll also keep clear coat out of that socket, the eye socket. This is a pretty small bait. The laser glitter looks great. If you have your brush saturated the correct amount and you just kind of tap on top of the slot, it doesn't go in. That's my slot clear coating technique, just tap. Masking fluid has been applied to the gills. Some window screen has been clamped over the bait. I think window screen will be the most appropriate thing to use for the way the scales look. Pearl white. Starting with pearl white, a big crusty bottle. Lid needs to be pried open, crusty as heck. Nice even spritzing. A lot more is gonna go on this, so I'm not gonna load it up with pearl white. All right, that was quite a bit of highlight powder inside of some translucent base with some reducer and balancing clear and stuff to make it shoot nice. Turquoise. There's already a lot of blue on the bait. The blue's gonna come through. I think I need some lighter blue. Turquoise. Everywhere, but not so much on the belly. I got a new special color for the belly. That's shooting very nice. 8-bit baits, hollow shift powder, solar sugar. You can shoot this stuff out of an airbrush. Going for flashy. This is like a silicone dioxide powder. A lot of stuff going on. I'm not gonna put very much on this bait. I'm gonna keep it towards the bottom. Get that color transition from the turquoise to this. Super fine hot pink glitter with other colors. I don't know what yet. Let's shoot it and see. Okay, that's a powerful color. I don't know if you guys saw anything, probably not. See that pink flash down there? It really flashes when you get a bottom angle. Looks appropriate from the side angle though. So if I need more blue, I can just spray it on after this. I'm really liking that new paint. It atomizes so well and it's so transparent. Makes me feel confident doing things like that, putting it over stuff I already painted. Here we go, let's do the tailpiece first. Yeah, that looks very turquoise, not so blue. A lot of green. Probably gonna need more blue. Let's get in there. Take a look at this. My neck beard, take a look at that. It's pretty blue. We'll get the full effect with the full bait. It's a simple fish. Dude, my hair. I was wearing a beanie today and it just parted straight down the middle. Look at that. What the heck? You can see my scalp. I just looked at a picture of the fish. It's pretty spot on, actually. I'll show you later. Let's do this. I can't believe how subtle that solar sugar ended up being compared to what I was seeing through that window screen. Well, maybe different lighting. You guys just need different lighting. If you guys are catching that subtle flash down there, hopefully you are. Like, that's a tasteful addition to the color scheme. It's so subtle and nice. I got the digital zoom hooked up on this camera. You can see Chip's earwax. Chip, chip. Hey, how you doing? Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Let's look at the reference picture. You know, I don't know if it's because these fish are so ridiculously inbred or what, but they look different. See all the green in that one up there? And this one's so blue. Mine's pretty green. There's the solar sugar. You can see it from this angle best. Like, look at this one. It's so white. Look at that one. Look at that. That looks like a chub. I'm gonna add blue. You know what? I'll be right back with some blue on this. So that is after adding a color called Code Blue. It's getting there. I'm not gonna get all the way there with the bottom. I'm gonna leave the bottom turquoise just because I like it. There's other variations of this fish that aren't so blue. So I can do a mix between the two. I'm allowed to do that. I am gonna come back in with pearl white and do highlights of scales towards the top. And then painting the body is pretty much gonna be done. There, that'll be great. That was some detail smoke black and then some airbrush cleaner, and that's pushing that black towards the tip, which they're darker towards the tip. This devil's hole pupfish has some pretty muddied up scales. I'm trying to imitate that. Other stuff's gonna go over the pearl white on the bottom too. I just haven't got there yet. Super high contrast. Kind of looks good. I do like that look, but I'll probably do something to it. You can see the turquoise coming through, and then that's the Code Blue on top of the gills. Of course, this side's gonna look better. Okay, I just added a little bit of that Code Blue to fade in that white. I have to paint the rest of the fins and stuff. Actually, I have to carve those in Dremel. Forgot to do that. Should I lighten up that gill? Actually, I might lighten up that gill. How about fairy dust? Let's do fairy dust. Yeah. It needed that little extra shine, full shine in the right light, and then comes back to all that detail. Dude, this paint is so good. The Army Painter War Paints, very controllable. Right, I had to mix up a really pearly blue with this powder to shoot in my airbrush. They all need a little bit, but that bottom fin needed the most. Bright gold. I can shoot the metallic pearlized paints out of the Micron with these new paints. I really like that. Super controllable. We're not gonna overdo it with the gold on the fins because that would really throw off the whole look of this thing. Just coming up from the base there. Their fins are very dark, but it's mostly towards the end of the fins. I see the perfect eye. Dead Meat Customs. I just loaded back up. Ooh, I see an even better eye. See that one? That's what I'm gonna use. Dead Meat Customs loaded me back up. He sent me a t-shirt too, it's in the laundry. He sent me quite the assortment. Look at those beasts. Whoa, I don't even know how many millimeters those are. That's gonna go on something special. I see flags in there. Thank you, Matt from Dead Meat Customs. You guys might have checked him out before, but go check him out again. I think he revamped his website. He's got it so it's very easy to order every possible eye that he makes. Go check it out, linked below. So I've got this set of eyes right up against the bait, and I realized these Sorry, such a mind changer. Keep making different decisions. These are gonna look best, not these. Those don't match as well. And these even have some of that aqua, goldish, all the way to yellow. It's gonna match best. My medium thick black super glue is getting awfully thick. It's turning into extra thick black super glue. Yeah, that's pretty thick. You guys seeing this? Yep, that's the match. That's like the perfect mix between all the blues in this bait. Because it almost looks purple towards the top. And it's turquoise. And baby blues towards the bottom. That is the match. Time to glue all of those fins in. I'm not left-handed. What am I doing? There. Looks good. Rarest tailpiece in the world. It's a pupfish. Guys are in the way. Alright, I got a pretty hefty snap swivel on the front of this. Still floats. I can tell it's super nose down though because of that snap swivel. And it's a wiggly little nugget. Pretty sure those fins in the back stabilize this bait like crazy. Which is fine. It's still pretty much Action City. It is literally 0 degrees Fahrenheit outside right now. I'm not going out there. You'll just have to see the Devil's Hole pup fish swim bait serve its function in the spring. Which I'm certain it will serve its function. This is like an easy official. I mean, it's got extreme levels of official potential for sure. I already know what I'm making for the next video. It's pretty big. I need to get to work. Thanks for watching. On to the next bait. My voice cracked on that one. Oh well. On to the next bait.